has heard the poem called The Snake.
The one mighty and strong is Donald Trump. When he finally becomes part of the church, they're going to reject him. I want nothing to do with that man.
On her way to work one morning, down the path along the lake, a tender-hearted woman saw a poor, half-frozen snake.
Is what people are going to say. They don't want anything to do with him. They don't want anything be a part of the church that he's a part of.
Why do you think Trump is going to be the last president?
Because he's going to wipe out the government.
Daddy, chill.
What the hell is even that? I have saved you, cried the woman. And you've bitten me, heavens why? You know your bite is poisonous, and now I'm going to die.
So they're going to go after the saints. You voted for him. Well, I know I didn't. He's a part of your church. But this is the Antichrist that comes forward. He's a former member of the church. He could command a space-based weapon to wipe out you and not anybody else in this room. Zzz, right there. And horns which thou sawest, these shall hate the whore, shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. And so it's a symbol. He's showing the destruction of Babylon. They made $1 gazillion by the Babylonian system. Now they have control. They destroy the system. They're mad that Trump went out and destroyed this government. And they're saying, look what he did. Look, this is what happens. We are going to make sure nobody does this again. Look, we got people that have, are worth $1 trillion. We got people that are worth nothing. We don't like this gap. We're going to make sure everybody's even. These communists are coming up in our country saying, let's make everything even.
And it sounds so good.
It sounds so good, right?
With a lot of consecration.
Yeah, it's completely
the counterfeit.
The counterfeit portion of the whole consecration. If we were living consecration, they should have bought a property that they could afford, make them independent, self-reliant, self-sufficient, and then given it all to the church, receive back what they need. That money could then be taken to help all these other people get something they need. I'm not talking communism here at all. It's consecration. There's a group of people, members of the church, that are cast out, just like the premortal life, because they will not accept Trump.
Oh, shut up, silly woman, said the reptile with a grin. You knew damn well I was a snake before you took me in.
Big top goes up, preacher works the street. Come find Jesus at the meet and greet. Sell you heaven, then shake you from their feet. They'll raise the dead, they'll cure your gout. Pass the plate, take a pass on down, 'cause charlatans never change. Soothsaying in that holy name, fools burnt in holy flame. Oh, charlatans never change.
Woo woo! Still everybody's favorite. Sorry if I am choppy, everybody. We are having a strange thing happening here at Xmojo Studios, the Church of Korihor. Hello. We're going forward anyways. We are going to bring on our guests here in a moment to react to the content you were just watching, which is a new friend of the program, not so much really, Ben, by the name of Kelly Smith. Actually seems like a pretty endearing Mormon fellow. Let's get a different view, though. And yes, my house is still under construction. But I just wanted to kind of introduce this content here before we get into this and introduce you guys. Of course, you know Exmo Snark. If you don't know, they are Kirsten and Megan. And I hope that you appreciated in the thumbnail that it says, those who reject Trump will be cast out with Kirsten and Megan. Of course, I wouldn't have it any other way. You'll note, I mentioned this to Kirsten just a minute ago, and you're going to see why here in a minute. That I very nearly, in the part where he talks about how the Antichrist is the horror that at the end of that will bring about the end of the world and must be defeated. And then he talks about the Antichrist being an ex-Mormon with great power, including maybe Jewish space lasers. I almost put her face on there, wearing the hat that she is currently wearing. You're going to see here. But basically, this man wrote a book a while ago after I'm just summarizing because I went through hours of this guy's content. Just a couple of days ago, he posted a group in Utah called Sisters of Liberty posted another talk, a second talk that they've invited this man back to talk about his book, which describes Donald Trump as the first horseman of the apocalypse and the one mighty and strong. We're going to get as little commentary as necessary on that, but let's go ahead and bring on our snarky ex-Mormons. We got Kirsten and Megan. Let's go ahead and bring them in. Let's see if we can get, here we go. Oh,
hello, everyone.
Hello.
We're here.
Hold on. We got this. Hey, how's it going?
Hey, so fun to be here with you guys.
Yeah, for this very fun topic.
Oh, look at us
Very
in little
exciting.
bubbles. I feel
Right?
like I'm Madame Leota, like in a crystal ball. I can see the future. I'm going to be the whore of Babylon, apparently.
Nice. The Kore whore of Babylon.
What's that?
I have to know, are you selling any of these hats? Or are you the only one who gets to be Kore whore?
Nope. They're on the website. Yeah, outersnarkness.com. You can get a Corey Whore hat. You can get this
also
lovely, WTF hat. We also have Corey Whore mugs. We actually even have Corey Whore panties on there.
Also
And have
have
this on the ass.
we also have the bisexual torch.
Nice. Very good.
We also have the ex-Mormon trucker hat.
Megan's just
snark.
a hat queen now.
And we also have Live, Laugh, Leave Mormonism.
I have to say, the first snarky hat I liked, but now it's a bit hat on a hat.
It's a bit on the nose. Or on the hat.
On the head, as it were. We also have I dropped our Halloween merch just recently, and it has such sayings such as "I baptize dead people," and "You can't scare me, I survived purity culture," with women in sexually explicit Halloween costumes.
Oh my
So,
God.
yeah,
We
Oh my
love sexually
gosh.
explicit Halloween costumes.
it's not explicit. It's like pin-uppy, but still.
It's burlesque adjacent.
You know,
Burlesque adjacent, yes.
they say that they say it's only illicit if it is titillating, and I say, listen, I am a word man, and that word is titillating. I go for the etymology. I need that bumper sticker. I don't know how many people.
Yeah, I
will get
love
it.
that. But that's how you find your people. The only people that get it will be your people. That's what I enjoy, a
Exactly.
good pun. So, you know,
Yeah.
things like that.
But it plays very well into my problem I have, which is like I don't want to be a part of any club that would have me as a member. It's kind of like that's like, are you my people? Gross. I'm out of here.
Gross, too.
Hey,
I
we're
hate
here
it.
to hang out with you. What does that say about us, Joe?
Okay, I hate to tell you this, but you might be gross in the minds of some people.
Yeah.
Oh, believe
It's
me,
true.
we know.
We know.
We're women
They
on the
tell us.
internet. They tell us every day, Joe.
I thought you would appreciate. I wish I'd clipped it out. I saw this thing. I'm sure maybe you've probably seen it, Kirsten. But there's a video of a woman who was arguing with a Wall Street bro, I think, on the internet, and she talked about he was hitting back about how she had posted something about the government being insolvent, and he was like,
Oh, yeah.
"Have you seen this clip?"
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was funny because the guy's like, "What do you mean insolvent?" And blah blah blah,
Yes.
blah blah blah. And she's like, posts the press release of the government saying that the government's insolvent, and he sends her a Wall Street Journal with like the performance of the S&P or something, and she's like,
That's not correct.
That's not how any of that works.
"I understand a woman is explaining to you what money is, dude, bro. Well,
Yeah,
let's
bro.
talk.
humans.
Let's talk Kelly Smith. Luckily for Megan, she probably missed most of the beautiful intro. Ted, Donald Trump, a bard and gentleman, a scholar, reading his favorite poem, probably the first poem, but for him, but not the first poem. If you know the Republican Party, you know they read it every freaking convention. They read this damn poem, and so. But anyways, I always find it ironic because, yeah. Anyways, they think it means one thing. Yeah. So we're gonna watch. Go ahead.
Oh, it's always very telling to me when a group of people that is very polarly on one side of any issue, not necessarily political, but it always makes me laugh a little bit when they demonize the other side, and their demonization can equally be applied to them.
It's true.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
true. And if it was a long time before when somebody told me, this is much true about Democrats as it was Republicans, and I could actually turn and go, not go, shut your damn mouth.
Well,
Correct. Yeah.
And then there was one day that I was like watching, and I'm like, oh fuck me, man, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kirsten and I have often contemplated playing a little game called Was It the Nazi Regime or Was It Mormonism?
It
would be hard to tell.
It is hard to tell sometimes. I've played similar games that got me banned on TikTok. So
That's why I was like, what about like Salem witch trials?
Yes. Was it the Salem witch trials or was it a routine excommunication?
Oh, interesting. Yeah, but now we're going to this is something this is one of my pet peeves. I've been on one about this lately, is the game of, is this Karl Marx, is it Donald Trump, or is it Brigham Young? And
That's a great one. That is a great
Right.
one.
That is a really good one.
it's like these people, all of them will rant against communism, and yet they talk about the same things. Just
100%.
we got one guy who was actually passionately full time about it, and just disappointed he couldn't make it work, and it was Brigham Young.
So Exmo Joe and I have talked about this a little bit, and it probably will come up about the law of consecration versus communism.
Mhm.
It's a fine line. Anyway.
Mhm. It's good to have somebody to talk to who actually gets it and doesn't hold water for the church. So we have Kelly Smith. Let's get him on here. And basically, I mean, in case you missed it before, this guy received not revelation, but definitely revelation that not Shane Baldwin. Those of you who caught our last show, by the way, hi Shane. I saw that your team emailed me back, Shane. Hi, Corey Hoare. Hi out there, Shane Baldwin. Got your message through your servants of servant, and I'm looking forward to hearing from you. But in any event, it's not Shane Baldwin. Sorry to disappoint you, Shane. The one mighty and strong is Donald Trump. Oh, Chad Daybell.
Oh, dun dun dun.
Roll over in his cell, soon to be grave. Oh my goodness.
Yes, Chad Daybell is he's very sad in his cell right now. Probably going, oh man, I thought it was me.
They take all my
I feel like
toys.
the Kermit meme right now. I'm just like
little bubble pop out. That's none of my business.
That's none of my business.
All right, let's listen to Kelly Smith as much as we can. I condensed down about 20 minutes of some of the better stuff. This guy went on for hours talking to, I'm going to call them the Daybell Mormons. You can click and look at their Sisters in Liberty, also known as Latter-day Media. Basically, they're some Utah County moms and a few probably retired husbands who gather together to talk about the end of the world. And
is this the group that
sounds
has been
super fun.
studying? Oh, sounds so fun. So
yes.
fun. Is this the group that gets together and reads Visions of Glory as like a book club thing? Okay, I knew these people existed.
What?
I've always been scared of them. I don't like them. I don't like that this exists on the internet. Whenever I was doing my research for the episode that I did with Mormon Stories about Visions of Glory, I came across this group that was like this round table of Mormon women who were discussing Visions of Glory as if it were their latest book club thing that they were thrilled about. And I was like,
oh, dear
what?
God.
Like Sunday school.
Dear
Sunday
Chad.
school.
Oh, wait.
Dear what?
Kelly.
A woman.
Who are we saying it to? Allah? Like,
No,
Corey
it's
Whore?
the flying spaghetti monster.
Sure,
Or
we'll take
Korahor.
that.
I think Korahor is appropriate for the venue, right?
I don't know who is the Lord now. I mean, who am I supposed to curse to?
I pour one out to Hitch when I don't know for sure. It's like for Hitch.
Oh.
Elphaba.
Yeah.
Elphaba is on top of my Nauvoo temple, so therefore it's Elphaba.
There we go.
She's the winner.
Yeah,
I love that.
Okay. So let's listen to a little bit. So this is a talk from this. I combined a couple of talks, but mostly it's the one that was just from about 2 days ago, where this guy Kelly Smith is talking about this, and you're just gonna love it. Let's see here.
Love it or hate it.
Yeah, that. I mean, you guessed it. I was hoping it would be a surprise, but
I don't know the morning. I even tried to look in a journal. I didn't even write it down. It was some day in December 2021. I woke up at 3:30 in the morning, and the little whisper said, "Read the book of Revelation."
you know how you do.
Okay, that's a pretty tough read this early in the morning. So I pulled out my phone and started scrolling through it, 3:30, half asleep and going through and having a hard time, and all of a sudden I came across something. And, wait, I don't remember that. And that started about a study of the book of Revelation that continues to this day. And I went that whole year, almost the whole year, and just devoured it. Everything, I read commentaries and everything I could find about it, and just learned a lot of things. In November 2022, I made a little video, put it on YouTube about stuff I'd learned. And I posted it. I wasn't really happy with it. It was okay.
Why do you think Trump is going to be the last president?
Okay, there's a hard cut there, but we might as well talk for that there. I had some work business interrupt my preparation, but in any event, so what do we think so far? What do you think about Kelly's call to do this great work?
First of all, he's a dude named Kelly.
Hey, we do not shame people on looks or names. They cannot control that.
Well,
says
please
the
allow
person
me
wearing
to
a hat that says Corey Whore.
Please
I'm
allow
not
me to
shaming
continue.
I'm giving myself the label.
Please allow me to continue for a moment.
Mhm.
I have an uncle who's named Kelly, and he is a weirdo. And so he's one of those weird MLM dudes. And so automatically when I see a dude named Kelly, I'm always like, he's a weirdo. He's going to be a weird MLM dude. And it turns out he is already a weird MLM dude. So first of all, yes.
I know him.
Provem. Ormo. I know you do. We should talk about this later, Xmojo, because I don't want to reveal too much on the internet. But I will just say that receiving a revelation to read the book Revelation is pretty wild.
Megan, you took what I was going to say.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry, Kirsten.
I was going to say,
rewind. I'm going to shut my mouth.
It's a re-revelation.
I had a revelation to read the book I was always told to read. Amen.
I had a revelation that I should actually do the thing that I've been being told to do for a very long time.
What I didn't get to clip in because I ran out of time is that the rest of the story is that he got a revelation to read Revelation or Apocalypse, and realized that one of the characters in the story, the first horseman of the apocalypse, is Donald Trump. And then he's had like a heart condition. I forget what it's called. And he had like this attack, and he said he felt his whole body like flooded with the results of this attack of some kind. It wasn't like a heart attack; it was something else. But and while that was happening, he realized that his mission was to inform all the saints that they need to be ready to accept Donald Trump, literally as the Anointed One, he calls him, or they will be cast out.
So let me get this straight, Ex Mojo. Weird Kelly had a medical experience and then received a revelation. Is that basically like an NDE? Are we doing?
I was about to say, did he get near to death?
Was he close to death when this happened? Because I seem to remember a very similar sort of prophet who thought he was one mighty and strong, who literally did a belly flop off of a high cliff and thought that he was having an NDE.
People,
did Jump start playing? Do.
Sounded a little bit like the beginning of the album,
right? Just saying, if you hear Van Halen, it's over.
If you hear Van Halen, you are close to death, my friend. Let's be clear about that.
I might be just close to my Bluetooth speaker though, because that's like 24/7. This is me receiving downloads,
Right. If you're receiving downloads from heaven, and especially if they involve any sort of 80s hairband, really, you are the one mighty and strong that he has on white leather.
Oh, I did.
Just
okay.
Like Sam Bateman, that white leather jacket.
Oh God.
Not the fringe, Jesse. The fringe. The fringe of the white leather.
Fringe on the jacket. Not the fringe.
This is how we know Kelly is a mighty prophet, because he has on a hat. And it's probably made of nice leather cloth. Which, as we know, prophets wear leather.
That's correct.
From what we've seen. Yes.
Write that down. and or pendants that you find on draped literally over the pulpit at church while you're cleaning the church.
Yes.
Oh God. Yes. Also, it's very reminiscent of an Indiana Jones hat, and we all know that Indiana Jones chose wisely the cup of Christ.
No, don't you disrespect my boy Indy that way. No, take it back, Megan. Take it back. Indiana Jones is the savior of artifacts, okay? The world being destroyed on multiple occasions that has nothing to do with this guy.
I feel so bad. I have to admit some compassion for Megan, who stepped right into the Lucasfilm Temple of Doom that is me and Kirsten.
Ready? Air 5, Joe. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Air 5, like the Brady Bunch. 1, 2, 3.
Where are you?
I don't know.
On that side. Sides. On the opposite side.
We did it. Nice.
No, it's a fist bump. Bump my fist. Or no, fist my bump.
What? That's
yes, you heard correctly. But you're right, Megan. You have come to the Mecca of Lucas. And
listen, I absolutely believe that Indiana Jones is the savior also. I was enthralled with his sermon about the Ark of the Covenant. I felt that his chalkboard drawings were just on point. And I also am very grateful that he remembered to take off 2 inches for the God of Israel.
Yes.
Because that's what saved the day.
And of course, he knew that is the cup of a carpenter. Amen.
He did. And then that's what I'm saying. He chose wisely.
He chose wisely, that's but this guy didn't. Don't
this guy
insult
did not.
Indiana with this fraudster, this snake oil salesman wearing a fake leather hat.
Yes, he's got the fake fedora. That's what I'm saying. Like, he's trying to be Indiana Jones, and he's clearly not.
I bet he's not even an archaeologist.
He probably isn't. Saying. He probably doesn't even have a real degree.
Not. I bet he doesn't even wear glasses when he's teaching.
Right? He's probably not even a professor. So
his dad is probably not even Sean Connery.
Well,
I knew it was
Right,
Indy.
Kelly? Is your dad even Sean Connery? Like, come on. I'll
It
take
was
the
like, can we
rapists for
please
what
move on?
thousands.
I have an actual point to make.
That's what you get when you invite the Snarkians on. I'm so sorry. This is what
We
happens.
can't take anything
can't-
seriously.
No. we
Seriously,
can't. I was literally going to say the same thing.
I would have to call. I'd have to put up the hotline number if I'd have just like stood and just like sat here watching this Mormon talk about Donald Trump for like an hour or something. I'd be like, if you have intrusive thoughts,
Jesus
It-
Christ. Oh, sorry.
no,
Chad did. No.
Kelly,
Kelly,
no,
Donald
no,
Trump,
No.
MAGA.
Jane,
Shit.
Get it straight, Kirsten. It's Indiana Jones. Get your
Indiana
head out of your
Jones.
ass.
Jones.
Jesus,
I knew it.
Mary
We
and
called
Joseph
the
Smith.
dog Indiana.
You are named after the dog.
I really
The,
like that dog.
I really like that. I knew it was Indy when the girl blinks her eyes at him. She has "Love You" written
Oh,
in mascara on her eyelids, and I'm like,
Guys.
this man has it. Mhm.
I did that at BYU. I was trying to win Blink 182 tickets, and I went Blink, and I had 182 written on my eye. I thought I was so clever. I
You
also
were
went
very
into the
clever.
Wilkinson Center and danced on a table and got yelled at. So,
Kirsten, did you dance on a table because you were drunk? Because we all know
Like
that's what
my
happens
friend
when you're
thought.
drunk.
Joe,
Drunk
to
later
catch you
night.
up on the lore, I had a Mormon friend that was worried if I had one beer, I would dance on a table because that's what her mother told her. After even one beer, you will dance on a table and show your underwear to people.
That was. I hate to tell Mama at home, but that's a lie. I happen to be educated and know that it's a margarita. And
One margarita.
one
What
margarita.
is it? One.
Yes,
One
like
margarita,
just one
she's gonna-
margarita.
Oh, she's gonna open her legs. Something I don't remember. Anyways, end of the world.
Because he's going to wipe out the government. The government, the United States America is God's chosen land. Its
Right.
purpose was to establish the New Jerusalem.
Right.
The founding fathers wrote about that. They recognized we're doing something God
they
wants us
didn't.
to. We can tell. I think we're going
Right.
to build the New Jerusalem. Yeah.
They also had a classical education of history
Yes.
with all the greatest ideas from the Romans, the Greeks, like all of them. And the story of the Iliad and the Odyssey is about
Sorry, Zendaya's husband.
Some
This is-
bullshit later.
and the usurpers have taken over.
The usurpers. I love that word, by the way.
Later.
He is going to
I don't know why my
What is
Adobe
going on here?
Adobe screwed up all my graphics and my voiceovers, but I had like the perfect little pauses there. Not that it matters.
No.
At some point in the near future, you're going to hear my voice pull in and say, "Yet more Mormon bullshit later."
purposely destroy the government, or do you think it's because he's battling against the deep state that he's going to destroy their organization, which is so intertwined with the government that he's got to throw the baby out with the bathwater?
So if we turn to Revelation 13,
Here we go.
we talked a little bit about this last time. Verse 1, the JST version there at the bottom.
Don't do it, Megan. You're better than
It
that.
says, and I saw another sign in the
Damn it,
likeness of the
Megan.
kingdom of the
Again.
earth. A beast rise up out of the sea, and he stood upon the sand of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. So it's a 7-headed beast, and one of the heads is wounded. Okay, not
Oh, no.
completely killed or cut off, but a deadly wound, severe wound.
Just needs a band-aid.
So let's catch up to this part. Okay. Megan probably knows this very well. So what is this that he's talking about, the wounding of the 7-headed beast and the one head and the blah blah blah?
I think John was on mushrooms when he wrote Revelation. And I think that he was doom fantasizing about the end of the world and what it might look like. And I mean,
So-
basically,
That is how we started the original fantasy smut.
and
It was the ET lizard has it exactly correct. It was the nearly headless 7-headed beast.
Mm-hmm.
With
It's
the
not fully
oscillating heads.
decapitated, just
Not fully decapitated, just
wounded.
merely just wounded, so you could,
Yeah.
The okay, that threw me off a little bit, but that's good. That keeps
Sorry.
me on my toes a little bit.
Sorry. No, you
No.
invited
Oh,
the wrong people here. We had long days
No,
at work, and all
obviously
we got
not.
is snark
I
for you.
reject. I reject
right.
this. This is obviously not true. No, so the guy that keeps like there's like one dude who asks questions in this group. Well, at least on this particular day, and
Yes.
he's the one who brings up, and his wife is obviously from like they have a shot where she like turns and goes, and like scowls at him. And I'm like, this is the most Mormonist of meetings.
It's almost exactly like gospel doctrine class.
Yeah.
I
And-
literally thought the same thing. I was like, these are obviously all Mormon people. They're
Yep.
like, it says in Revelation. Like, it literally looks like they went to their gospel doctrine lesson and they're like, I'm gonna take this as just an outline, but I'm gonna make it say what I want it to say
Right.
from my heart attack or whatever
Mhm.
it was.
And the
Or
wife
whatever
is
it was.
like, don't bring this up again. You always
Right.
talk about this.
So here's
like,
an
I'm
interesting
sick of
question
this
for
shit.
you.
Yes.
He mentions John, and we mentioned John, right, being on shrooms,
Right.
etc. So
Right.
have you, when you were in the church, did you understand that John the Beloved and John the Revelator were the same person?
I
No.
think that I knew that, but I didn't like. It's one of those Mormon things that I knew while I was teaching gospel doctrine, and then immediately forgot as soon as I stopped teaching gospel doctrine because I don't care.
Because here's
Yeah.
the thing: biblical scholars pretty universally pan the whole idea. They're like, it's almost certainly John of Patmos or somebody else, but we don't actually know who the John of the Book of Revelation is. But recently, it came up in some Hellfire Agency content because I've been covering Shane Baldwin, who is also the One Mighty and Strong. Oh, he won't love that I said also right there. And has now recently basically declared himself also the second coming of Christ, and also he's the Holy Ghost, and he holds the keys of death and hell. And so,
Right.
all
But
very
is he a whore of Babylon? I don't think so.
Well,
Yeah.
I think he would argue that he was. According to at least some sources, he has told people that he was Lucifer, but that he is Lucifer redeemed.
Oh,
Wait,
well, that makes a difference.
that is not true because I saw a cartoon recently from the Godmakers that showed that Lucifer turned bad. So that's
He
definitive
did.
proof he's wrong.
Well, now you see why he has recently been trespassed from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and he can't attend any
Wait, did he
events
get
there.
kicked out?
So
Did
he
get
got
excommunicated?
trespassed. They're not
Just
doing
trespassed.
excommunications anymore. They're
Right.
I mean,
It's the
I think they
Council
still
of
do
Love,
some.
Kirsten.
Even that
Still,
has
you
been
get
replaced
X,
now.
right?
They're calling it a
Oh.
withdrawal of name
Withdrawal.
or withdrawal of membership.
A
And
withdrawal.
yeah, but if they
So they're
initiate
pulling
it,
out?
if yes,
That sounds right.
that's right, me.
I'm sorry.
The Lord's
sorry.
way, the Lord's way, but also onanism. I mean, depending on whether or not the one is whether it's your sister-in-law. Let's keep going.
Yes, please.
But yeah, so Kelly's talking about the end of the world being he's talking about the government, the U.S. government being overthrown by Trump, because that's what the Book of Revelation says is going to happen.
I don't recall his name being mentioned, but go ahead. Yeah.
I propose.
I mean, he built
that
a golden statue. I think
He
that's
did
all
build a
there
golden
needs to be
statue.
said. I
Well,
mean, how
also-
much more clear could they be in the Bible? Golden calf, golden statue. Like, I don't understand how people are missing this correlation. That's all I'm saying.
And to be
What?
fair, Kirsten, he did publish his own version of the Bible. And
He did.
when asked what his favorite verse was, he did say it was deeply
He said it was
personal.
too personal.
Yes.
And
Well,
what his
and
favorite
so
book was
therefore-
both.
Therefore,
Yes,
his favorite book being both the Old Testament and the New Testament, and him testifying that his favorite verse was deeply personal sounds very Mormon to me.
Yeah, he doesn't like it. He doesn't like it when they fight.
Right.
My favorite thing out of that whole interaction, though, was that he said the Bible stood the test of time, not unlike The Art of the Deal.
That's right.
But nobody has brought that up. I'm like, he literally said The Art of the Deal is equivalent to the Bible. Why do people talk about
Kirsten,
that? Like, Jesus
why,
Christ.
Why is that so
Chad
unreasonable? I mean, his book is a classic, and it was written as a late account of what actually happened in his businesses by other people who were not involved. So therefore, I really think The Art of the Deal and the Bible are very similar in a lot of ways.
See, and we came back. And now, Joe, you can continue with Kelly the Hat Man. That's his legal name.
You can see, and you'll note when it goes back and forth between the July video and the August video session with Kelly, based on how much sweat stain is in the hat. So this hat has gone on an adventure.
Been through it.
That is when Donald Trump goes after the American government, because the 7 heads represents complete, enveloping the earth. All the world's governments are controlled by satanic influence.
Right.
So he's taken this.
You can bring anybody who is holding their breath when he said all the world's governments being controlled by, and you went, I can hear all of your sphincter muscles simultaneously. Let it go. He did not say, he did not say.
Of the United States government, which has become so corrupt that he's going to wound it. It still leaves 6 left over. And then it says, and his deadly wound was healed. So all of a sudden it comes back.
You probably
back
put
to 70.
essential oils on it.
But something's changed.
Little frankincense.
And it says, and all the world wondered after the beast.
doTERRA will solve
They
that.
worshiped the dragon,
A little
the
young
power of
living.
the beast, and they worshiped the beast, saying, who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with him? So Trump is no longer part of that anymore. He's wounded the beast. He's done his job. He's now focusing on Zion.
Right.
Now he's got.
So he's talking about when Donald Trump destroys the government, which allegedly has not happened yet, though I would argue this prophecy so far is coming true.
Yeah.
Now, that being said, it was Sunday, so
so
this has already happened.
Yeah.
But so his prophecy is that Donald Trump. Now, again, part of the things I didn't get to clip in was somebody raised their hand during the question and answer session and said, didn't Donald Trump say he left the Protestant church? And he had to correct them and say, you mean Presbyterian church? And yes, he did say that. And so the conversation then turned to, so he's Mormon now. I mean, everybody knows maybe he can't come out and say it, but he was obviously baptized.
So I beg your finest pardon. They are saying that Donald Trump was baptized as a Mormon now. Okay.
Yeah.
That's very
Or that he will be. Or that he will be.
You know,
because he's the one mighty and strong.
I'm just going to dive.
If we're going to go there, they baptize anyone, especially after they're dead. So, pretty much everyone that's ever died is Mormon now.
I guarantee you that there are at least a 5-figure amount of women who have Donald Trump's information set aside and ready to go on a blue card as soon as he kicks the bucket. I guarantee you.
Yes.
I guarantee you.
Guarantee it.
The other part, though, of this that I do want to point this out. Donald Trump back in the day when he was being interviewed about his political affiliation, he said that he was didn't identify as a Democrat or a Republican, but if he were ever going to run for office, he would run as a Republican because they were so gullible. I bet that he thinks the same thing about joining the Mormon church. Like if he joined the Mormon church, that the reason he would do that is because he would be able to grift on a level like he never has grifted before if he were a Mormon.
Can we just drop the word grift? It's way beyond grift. It's fucking lying.
Oh. Yes.
It's not a grift. He just flat out lies. I said what I said. Write it down. Quote from Kirsten on August 19th. Liar, not grifter.
You know, what is great is that he might be a liar, but we know his pants are not on fire because they're too wet with his shorts.
Oh, shit. Literally.
Literally.
It'd be holy shits then if he was Mormon. I'm just.
Man.
Oh my God, I just had a question. Okay, so if you're wearing depends, do they go under the garments? I'm assuming. You know how the bras used to have to go
the garments
over the
are supposed to
garments,
be
and now
next
they're
to your
under?
skin.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
These are questions I have. Anybody is a true believer Mormon, I would love if you could please look into that for me.
I bet
Does
you
anyone
anything
still
Charlie
have
Kirk
their
has been
family
baptized.
search? Oh, 100%.
I bet you anything
Oh,
he has been.
at
He was
least-
probably
at
baptized
least
within
twice.
48
Oh,
hours.
yeah.
I bet
Oh,
you.
yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say 45 minutes, and I was like, "Yep, that's valid."
In fact, I bet the CIA agent who, you know what? Never mind.
Oh my God. E.T. Lizard, I agree. Probably. Or having his ordinances performed.
Mitch has
Where?
probably already had his ordinances performed multiple times. That's what I
Oh,
always
yeah.
found like so hilarious is whenever you find a famous person in Family Search, there's a list of like 68 people
Yes.
who have done
that
their
did
ordinances
their work.
already. And it's like the number of people who claim to be related to Charlemagne, it's absolutely wild.
Oh, it's insane. Yes. It's like
Yeah.
Charlemagne had 84 children, is how they make it seem. That's the only
They make
way
it
would
seem
work.
that way. Yes.
Yeah.
It does seem to
Sorry.
be that I recently watched a podcast where they were talking, some crude ex-Mormons were talking about how Donald Trump went on a phone call with a Mormons for Trump or something, and happened to
Oh,
use
yes.
a bunch
Those
of coded
bitches.
Mormon language.
I
I can
can't
tell
stand
you
those
about
ladies.
this. So, are we talking? Maybe we're
It's
not
us.
talking about the same
It's
thing.
us, Megan.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
It
The
was
Trump
us.
phone call. And it's still
It's-
up if you ever want to
it's-
watch it.
It's on YouTube, Analyzing Mormonism, who is Julia, whom we love. She has the whole thing on her YouTube channel. And it was definitely Trump actually used the phrase, the Constitution is hanging by a thread.
Which is a direct reference to, or fairly
Joseph
direct
Smith.
reference to,
The White Horse Prophecy.
the White Horse
Yes.
Prophecy, which, according to Mormons, if you ask them about it, when in mixed companies, say nobody can confirm that even exists. So that I don't think that's even real. I think that Kolob. I've never even heard of that. There's
We
no
found
book
it
of
on the BYU
What's-
website when we were looking it up. Like, I
Yeah.
don't know. Megan
It's
and I
available
do our
publicly.
best to only use church approved references so people can't call us liars.
Yeah.
It's like
They do
interesting.
that.
They didn't say it. It's on churchofjesuschrist.org. So are we lying or is the church lying?
Yeah,
Just
I
saying.
wish
That's a fair question.
It's like me, and every year, I have at least 1 week where I say, "Okay, some Mormon prove to me this is not right about damnation," and I go into this rant about the stupid thing about damnation. I really got to let it go. But anyways, okay, let's
a much bigger role
Let's hear what else he has
than
to
just
say.
saving America. He's saving the world.
Oh yes, I know you're
building up
anxious.
the kingdom of God in such a fashion where, because there's going to be pockets of Zion all over the world, and that's
I love
he knows
pockets.
that. He's been given that commission.
Hot pockets.
And so, but the
Hot
beast
pockets
system
of
then
Zion.
takes and tries to reformulate what was created.
Dude, we got Jenny. We got Jenny in the
Hi,
house.
Jenny.
Hey, Jenny. It's Life Take Two. You guys don't know Jenny. She's a celebrity here among the Cora Horrors. Welcome, Jenny. It's so good to see you. But yeah,
But is she a Corey whore? Is
um,
the real question.
we don't. Not like you are. Not like you are, Kirsten.
Oh, well, I mean, that sounds right.
Well, I meant to do a good way. That's right. I'm always in this house. This is the house I'm building.
Oh, cute.
Yeah, it's my tiny home that Elijah and I moved into across the country because we couldn't get far enough away from you Mormons.
Are you in a pocket of Zion?
I am
Because
not.
Kelly says you're going to be in one.
Yeah,
I
there
am
are pockets of Zion.
I am deep
All over
inside
the
the
world.
Bible Belt where my trans kid is safe from Mormons.
Yes.
So yeah, yeah. So
Thanks, it has
anyway.
pockets.
So let's okay, so yeah, so Kelly, go
make
ahead.
war with the saints. You voted for him. Well, I know I didn't. He's a part of your church. You're a part of it. Denounce
He's leaning
the
into it.
church. Or, you know, this is the fifth seal stuff. This is the hard part here.
Right.
Yeah, persecution complex is a big part of the one mighty and strong.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if anybody knows about this. Oh, I had mentioned about John, by the way, earlier, because I mentioned Shane Baldwin. If you guys don't know the story of Shane Baldwin of Zion Media, his story is that John the Revelator is John the Baptist, or not John the Baptist. John the Revelator is John the Beloved, who has tarried on the earth and came to the prison where Shane spent 5 years for securities fraud, and appeared to him, not appeared like through a wall. He claims his cellmate was there and can testify to that. It was there, and gave Shane a special call and started teaching him like gematria and sacred numerology. And this is me paraphrasing it, probably not doing it justice, and he claims last week he did a live stream after having met back up with John, spending 5 hours with him, and getting the secret downloads that are surely being added into the Oracle app, which I contribute apparently $10 a month still to. I've discovered.
What, Joe, I just have to say, how could John be with Shane when I know the 3 Nephites came and was helping me because my husband's car battery was dying, and we took it to the mechanic shop, and there were 3 men working there. And then my car worked. So obviously John Beloved couldn't also be with Shane when they were fixing my car.
That's
because
true.
that's what they do, right?
But Kirsten, also,
that's the
I
truth.
had lost my keys that day. And
Oh, see? They were busy. There's no way that happened because obviously the 3 Nephites and John the Beloved were very busy with me and Megan's problems. So how could they have been there? They don't have time to YouTube.
That was the day. Was that the day that those flock cameras were vandalized? Because me and my friends Tyler and Luigi, we were feeding the homeless that day, and outside of cell phone service. So, yeah, I remember.
I'm sure that was it.
That was it.
Yeah.
It was a good day. That was a good day.
They were getting around.
part of
So sad about those flock cameras, though. I mean,
It's such a shame. Really.
the church. And Trump's now associated with it. Now they're going to come after the members. This is the persecution that comes about in chapter 13. That there takes great
They're always
faith and
coming
patience
after
of
the
saints
faithful
to endure the terrible tribulations. I don't want to get this. It gets really dark and deep, and I don't want to go there. But then verse 11, and I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. We talked about this last time. But this is the Antichrist that comes forth. This is where I mentioned.
How does it go, Megan?
That more than likely, he's a former member of the church. He comes forth, and he speaks like a lamb, speaks like a dragon. So in reality, it's a dragon in lamb's clothing. That's what this is. And
Kirsten?
he exercises all the power of the first beast.
That would not fit. How could you tell the difference? A dragon is much larger than a lamb.
Kirsten, I'm envisioning a new tattoo for you. Of a dragon with like
Stanley cup that you can put stickers on. What?
A dragon with a lamb skin that only goes over its like head and neck with the horns, with the lamb horns.
And
I will not be doing that. But thank you for the suggestion.
But what if it's a horish dragon? I mean, you could go,
yes, it should be a horish dragon, scantily clad.
Very Game of Thrones.
Is it in the colors of Lisa Frank?
Yes.
And we're talking.
Yes,
of course
I've seen it. Of course. You've seen it then. We've all seen it. We've all had the vision.
We've both seen the dragon.
We've all had the
dragon leaps sheep clothing.
That's how you know it's true. Because all 3 of us have had the vision.
Witnesses.
That's right. 3 witnesses.
That's right.
We are the 3 witnesses.
I saw
to
the holocron.
The dragon in lamb's clothing.
Whose deadly wound was healed. They mentioned this deadly wound being healed twice here in this verse, in this chapter. He doeth great wonders. There's some kind of controls and powers he has. And he deceiveth them that dwells on the earth. He deceives them. He tricks them. He has power over technology and all these kind of things. He can show these things.
So who is he talking about right now?
Sounds like the Mormons. Oh, wait. No.
It does have
Power over technology. I just assumed how many stocks they have in the AI companies. Just saying.
Well,
Yeah.
I thought he was talking about the beast at this point, but now I'm
So-
confused.
Right. He is talking at this point. He's talking about the Antichrist, which again, throwing my hat in the ring. Only person not wearing a hat in here because I've thrown it in the ring. Joe Rollins for Antichrist. I'm a Korahor anyway. Maybe some say the Korahor. But he's talking about that. But at the same time, I'm listening to him like, how does this man not think he's talking about Donald Trump? How does this guy not think that it's like, if I were in that room, I'd be like, it sounds like the Antichrist you're describing is Donald Trump.
Is Donald Trump. Yes, that's what I thought as well.
It's kind of like when I started my TikTok and I started putting, anti-Mormon lies on my TikTok because that's how I operate apparently. And one of my frequent male commenters, who is clearly LDS, made a comment that said, "It's really sad that you've chosen to kick against the pricks." And he didn't realize what he had done. Because I literally
the poor bastard.
He had no idea what was about
against
to
the
befall
pricks.
him.
Get over here so I can kick you.
I love that phrase so much.
I do too. I love it so much. Kirsten, we need some kind of a T-shirt in homage.
Kicking against
like
the
we
bricks.
do.
And
I
it's
was
just
gonna
like
say, just kicking the pricks and have a little carrot against.
Yeah.
and just have like Chad Daybell bent over, Joseph Smith bent over. Yeah. Like
I like having Joseph Smith bent over. I really like that.
Oh my
or
I mean,
Dallin Hope.
I meant for kicking, not for any.
That's what I'm talking about too.
Okay.
I'm talking about kicking.
I thought I had.
Kicking him in the behind.
I thought I had you pegged for
I'm just
something
gonna
else.
keep eating my M&Ms. You guys can talk. I'm eating my M&Ms with nuts.
Are they peanut M&Ms?
Get dirty talk. You guys just get
Sugar daddy.
Exactly. Yeah. And now
What
because
she
we have
just
not
said, sugar
exercised-
daddy. I'm gonna need
She
you
did
to
say sugar
rewind.
daddy. It does a rewind. Let's hear it again.
Technology.
Who's a sugar daddy?
Hey, Bob, blah, blah, blah. They have all that. They have control of everything. They wipe out. Why do they do that? Because they're mad that Trump went out and destroyed this government. And they're saying, look what he did. Look, this is what happens. We are going to make sure nobody does this again.
So it's about
that
we have to
sounds
get
normal.
So he's talking about once again, so that we can have the collective sphincter release or relax, not release, don't release.
That
He's
would be a
talking about
catastrophe.
the people who have control. He did not at any point say a certain ethnic and or religious group, and just want to be sure that we're clear about that. Doesn't mean it's not what he meant, but as we go listening to him, I think he actually does just mean actually a different, interesting group. He's actually talking about an economic class. He's talking about the billionaires. And I thought, well, now this is dangerous for me because I might start agreeing with a thing or two that Kelly Smith has to say here. So that's the setup going into the part where he gets interrupted by the woman. By the way, the woman who runs this group, I would say runs the group. She's also the head of the Mormons for Life, the pro-life political group, or Latter-day Saints for Life, or whatever.
Really fun.
Oh,
yeah,
she's a
she
blast.
does sound fun.
Actually,
we should invite her on our show.
She actually is quite. I mean, I enjoy it just because of the self-abuse that I put myself through. But she's also, if I remember correctly, the mother of Connor Boyack, who is somebody who makes me feel very conflicted. Do you know Connor Boyack?
No.
He's are you familiar with the Tuttle twins? It's a book series. Okay. Yeah,
I don't internet.
A libertarian activist. No, this
I
is not
literally
internet. Well, I mean, I guess it
happen
is
to
now.
be on the
But anyways,
internet.
okay. But we'll talk about some of them.
Okay, go. I need to hear
So,
more about this.
This woman interrupts. Okay.
Okay.
How was their sugar daddy?
Huh?
The taxpayers were their sugar daddy for so
Exactly.
many years.
And now
She
because they have
said
not
I was
exercised
their sugar
the
daddy.
controls that
No, she said that. Oh, well, yeah, I guess so.
Their
She's,
sugar
Because
she said
be,
because we're the taxpayer.
Yeah.
She's
Oh.
the taxpayer. Yeah.
yeah.
She said,
Okay.
yeah. But
That's-
when if you hear a Mormon interrupt somebody like in this setting and say, "Well, the taxpayer was their sugar daddy," who's the they that they're usually talking about? Do you think immediately without any other context?
My mouth is full of M&Ms.
The
You have
poor
to
and
stop.
needy.
Right. People, you're talking about an economic class, or you're talking about a racial group, or you're talking about, people are the descendants of so and so, or
Also,
whatever.
though, Joe, a very wise person once said that if you pay particular attention to the verbiage that is used during an insult, you will learn a great deal about the person flinging the insult. Sugar daddy is a very specific word. It's meant to describe a very specific situation. And I find it really interesting that this woman decides to use the word sugar daddy as an insult towards people who need government assistance. That's all.
Right. But it's curious because he's talking about people who control the world. And it's
Right.
like it feels like a disconnect, but at the same time, if we were talking about people who lived off of the teat of the government and billionaires wouldn't be wrong, that would actually be the right answer. So
Yeah.
I just want to bring in just before we get a chance, we lose a chance to talk about it, to say it again. If we lose Kirsten any point in the time in the next few minutes, she's just going to drop out on us. She has family obligations, and I want to say thank you very much for being here.
No, Kirsten
thank
just
you.
has more important shit to do, right?
Oh, I get it. I didn't know it was like that.
Yes, heaven
Yeah, I
forbid
did.
we take care of children. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can give you about 15 more minutes.
How very
Nice.
pro-life
Okay.
of you, Kirsten.
should be in place that there should not be monopolies. We used to have anti-monopoly laws that were enforced.
Nope. Oh, okay. This you can't see in the desktop. Some of you can see a little bit of it. They
There's no
actually
control.
cut out his audio when he starts mentioning, but you can see it censored in there. He says Tesla, he says Google, he says Apple, he says, and he starts naming corporations, and I'm like, whoa, Kelly, bold.
And they're like,
Bold,
don't say that.
But here
Wow.
at the Church of Korihor, we name names, but
Wow.
right? I'm like, Kelly, are you
That
are you
is bold.
flirting with me, sir?
Especially on the internet. My God.
Oh my God, I think I might. I mean, do we take this shit to OnlyFans? I mean, what's going on here?
I think so. I think that's the only move.
Control of these people because they help vote.
At some point, I have to show everybody my impersonation of Bernie Sanders if he was into fetish stuff.
They pay for the vote. Politicians to get in office. They're not going to say, "Okay, help me get in office, and I'm going to break you up as a company."
Yeah.
No way. And so that's what they do. They wipe this out. They remove all possibility of having a free society, of setting up a business, and they're going to get everybody to buy in.
You had me, and then you said a free society of setting up a business.
And then you lost me.
You lost me there, Kelly, because I mean his definition of capitalism is and free market capitalism is, well, you can start a business, and it's like you can start a business in a socialist country there, Kelly boy. I don't know if you heard about this, but it's like they have some of the best businesses in the world are in Scandinavian socialist countries.
I do have to agree, though. I think Monopoly is a toxic game, and probably nobody should play it.
Right? This is where he was actually spitting a little truth for a minute, and I'm like, Kelly, you hitting the books there, big guy, because like you might not be entirely wrong. I mean, does Donald Trump being the one mighty and strong? I might.
No.
Oh,
It's
we
just
lost
us.
Joe.
And not Joe. All y'all
Kirsten,
give him
what
shit, and it was
what
actually
witchcraft did you do to get rid of Joe? That was not cool.
If
I was about
wanted
to say,
get rid
though.
of Joe, I wouldn't have used witchcraft.
Oh, well, that's
There.
true.
Got Cora Horde on my own live.
But you came back with a cat, and
I
that's
did.
even better.
He didn't-
Exactly.
It wasn't Sir William Shakespeare who did it, but it did happen. Let's see if we can get Kelly back. Yes, he's a big
So
baby.
cute.
He's like, I'm being ignored, and I don't care for that.
We need to have some toe beans. I'm just saying.
Yes, we should have some toe beans. That would make everyone very happy.
He's a good baby. You can tell.
He is a good boy.
Yeah.
He likes to make trouble. He's a little mischievous, but yeah. Okay, so let's
All
let's
cats
see.
should be.
Let's see where Kelly's going with this
Lord
before
God
we
will
lose.
send one, mighty and strong, holding the scepter of power in his hand,
It's Megan's favorite scripture.
clothed with light for a covering, whose mouth shall utter words, eternal words, while his bowels shall be a fount of truth, to set in order the house of God.
His
and to
bowels are a
arrange by
fountain. I
lot
mean, he
the
nailed it there.
inheritances of the saints whose names are found,
Speaking of
and
releasing,
the names
thank
of
you.
their fathers and of their children, enrolled in the book of the law of God.
Have any of you ever heard somebody say, "I'm the mighty and strong one. I've come here to help fix the church"? Have you ever seen
Yes.
that?
Anyone?
Yes.
Anyone?
Have you
Yes.
heard
Anyone?
that in the
Yes.
past?
Yes, I do
I have.
recall having heard
No.
that. He's
I
talking
have
about
heard
Shane
Yeah,
Baldwin.
but have you heard
Oh, wait,
anybody
no.
proclaim this? That they are the
Yes.
they're the mighty and strong one?
Yes, I
Yes.
have.
Yes.
Probably
Yes, right here.
do.
Heard that.
I don't know anybody personally done this. I've read about it. That there are people.
Okay. Yeah. That's not the swag you think it is, Kelly.
I've read
Some of
about
us-
it. Right.
Some of us know someone's mighty and strong, sir. I know Chief Mitiga. I know Megan might know someone.
I know at least one person.
who Shane. Oh boy, forgive me, Shane. Don't
See?
send
So many
your
people.
donuts. Shane, don't. Shane says he is not to be referred to as Chad Daybell because he doesn't even own a gun.
That's what
Oh.
he said.
Yes, he says I don't even own a gun.
That means that he is correct, obviously.
Well, yes, everybody knows all the Chads Daybell. You going? Are you abandoning us? What the hell, Kirsten? Kirsten's got to eat,
Yeah.
and she's got to be.
I
spend time
really
with the
do
babies.
have to go. I have to go and take care of my children. I
We love you.
appreciate being here with all of you
Mhm.
whores.
Thank you,
Mhm.
Kirsten, for being here.
We'll see
So,
you tomorrow.
So bye
And,
bye.
bye, Joe.
As we all know,
Bye, guys.
I don't care enough about my children to abandon a live stream for them. So I'll be here for a while. That was
Boundaries.
a joke.
Boundaries. Doesn't matter.
Right.
It's already on the internet. All right. See you guys. Bye.
Bye.
And as long as Kirsten is dropping out, I am going to take a quick bathroom break. I will be right back. I can still hear. So if you want to play it, then I can hear it.
Oh,
And you can
good.
comment.
You can listen to it in the bathroom. I get
Yes,
you.
exactly.
I'm picking up what you're putting down. Let's
Yeah.
get Kelly. We gotta get Kelly
Well, it's
playing
happened
here.
several times in history. This is the most misused verse against the current, whatever the current prophet was at the time, that shows there's somebody that has to come mighty and strong, has to come and has got the scepter of power, and he's going to fix the church. And that was used against,
Because Lot says, I gotta fix the church.
yeah, fix the church.
I haven't heard him say that.
Does verse 8
Yeah.
describe what happens to him?
Right,
Yeah.
right. Shaft of lightning, right. State of the art type stuff. Okay, so it has happened. In fact, during President Nelson's reign, with the
He
whole
did say
COVID
reign
thing,
there.
people say, "Look, mighty and strong needs to come now. He's fallen, and so we have to get this fixed." And some people said that they were. I didn't know them personally. I just read about them.
Those of you who aren't aware, the predecessor to the current Mormon prophet, who's Dallin H. Oaks, or Dallas Oaks, as some have said, Dallas Houston Oaks. His predecessor and companion friend and colleague was a man by the name of President Russell M. Nelson, who was a surgeon. He was a doctor. And so during the big COVID of 2020, maybe started somewhere in 2019, he got vaccinated and encouraged all of the Latter-day Saints to get vaccinated, which many of them by sheer under duress did, and the man simply put may have saved millions of lives by saying, if you can get the vaccine, get it. And he's like, he said, this is absurd. There's prophecy, there's scripture, and then there's freaking science. And for a man who was, I think, quite superstitious, nonetheless, he was like, yeah, I mean, well, vaccines, he was a doctor. But at that moment, it comes up all the time. I think that one decision may have actually cost, though we ex-Mormons would love to believe it was John Dehlin and Mormon stories. Actually, we don't really relish the idea that it was John Dehlin and Mormon stories, but that was the accessibility of information on the internet, or specifically the Joseph Smith papers, or the CES letter, or the Korihor argument. It was a lot of it was that the Mormon prophet was a doctor who got his own people to comply with a vaccine mandate that they were many were morally opposed to. And it comes up again and again and again and again in this prepper groups that they were forced to take a vaccine. And that's when a lot of them started to talk about, it's time for someone to steady the ark. This was of all the crazy shit Mormon prophets have said, this is the one where they said, it's not that he's a false prophet, but he might not be entirely in his right mind. He obviously has fallen. So, yeah.
I still am in awe of the exodus that took place when President Nelson declared that everyone should get a vaccine. I'm in awe of it. And I don't think we'll ever know exactly the numbers.
Yeah.
But faithful people who I thought, would defend the church to their dying day, expressed consternation about the prophet probably for the first time in their lives. Like, not with any of the policies, not with any of the doctrine, not with any of the toxic shit that has come out of Salt Lake City, but when President Nelson said you should get a vaccine. That was it. That was the reason.
That was the bridge too far.
Yeah.
Of all the things, I mean, it's bizarre. I mean, it's not so bizarre. It's actually par for the course.
Yeah.
So, yep. So that's what they're talking about.
But this has been used multiple times, and it's the most misused verse. And
that's talking about the one mighty and strong.
It says, while that man who is called of God and appointed, that putteth forth his hand to steady the ark of God, shall fall by the shaft of death, like as a tree is smitten by the vivid shaft of lightning. So this whole chapter brings up a very interesting
vivid
thing.
Shaft there.
Because if you look at if starting in verse 1, we're still in 85. It is the duty of the Lord's clerk, whom he has appointed, to keep a history and a general church record of all things that transpire in Zion, and of all those who consecrate properties, and receive inheritances legally from the bishop, and also their manner of life, their faith and works, and also of the apostates who apostatize and receive after receiving their inheritances. It is contrary to the will of commandment of God that those who receive not their inheritances by consecration, agreeable to his law, which he has given, that he may tithe his people, to prepare them against the day of vengeance and burning, should have their names enrolled with the people of God.
Okay, so now here's where we get to the meat and potatoes of this. What is he talking about there, Megan?
The whole time he was reading that, I just wanted to say, skip a bit, brother.
Skip a bit, brother. I had it queued up and I didn't get it loaded in time. I was going to put it in skip a bit, brother. And the people did feast upon the lambs and anchovies and orangutans.
And the fruit bats and the breakfast cereals.
And breakfast cereals.
I love that he says skip a bit after the breakfast cereals. That's right out. Anyway, I believe that here he is talking about the law of consecration.
Ah, and what sort of thing is that?
It is a communist law.
Yep.
It's basically when, back when the Mormons basically believed that the leadership of the church should be the ones to decide who should own what property and have what money. And so they said, not only bring all the tithes into the storehouse, but bring all the everything into the storehouse. Give it to us, and we will distribute it accordingly, according to people's need. And Joe, I shudder to think what, knowing the current holdings of the corporation of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints and the way that they deal with their current holdings, the freaking ridiculous gold pile that they are sitting on, and knowing how they don't distribute it at all. I can only imagine how horrific it would be to actually live the law of consecration with somebody like Dallin Hoax at the head, who has no idea what the life of a regular member of the church is even like.
And too bad we don't have Kirsten here to talk about this. Not that she could necessarily, but some are aware keenly of how the Mormon Church invests large amounts of money, which they've gotten into legal trouble for, including investing into defense contractors. And part of this inspired a new product that is not quite launched on the store yet. Why doesn't it? Here we go. Add to stage. Oh, that's just the picture of the thing. Well, anyways, so I got this hoodies that I've designed that read, I paid $60 in ex-Mormon tithing on this hoodie that keeps me warm, and a blanket that keeps a homeless person warm, because Boeing stock can't do that. So basically
No, it can't.
You have companies like Northrop Grumman, not that there's anything wrong with them being a company and being a defense contractor, but they are a contractor that makes missiles and bombs to drop on children in foreign countries, and implements of war. Not that there need to be implements of war, I suppose, but for the Church of Christ to invest in beating your plowshares into spears just seems a little incongruent with the fact that we started the Church of Korihor in Salt Lake City, Utah, with a mission where I went out onto the streets where the temple is, and under the spires of the temple started putting blankets around homeless people who were freezing out there. And it's just there's no money for that. No, of course not. It's just it speaks to me on how toxic the culture of ultra capitalism has taken over this church that not only claims to be the church of the man who said, if you have two coats, go out and find someone who has none and give him one of yours, but also really started as pre-Marxian communists. Everything that Karl Marx wrote about, Joseph Smith wrote about first, but declared it as a commandment from God. So
there's the difference. There's the difference. If you say God said it, it makes a big difference in the minds and the hearts of gullible people who will say, if God said it, then I'll do it. It doesn't matter that it agrees with Karl Marx.
I discovered that the YouTube account of one David, what's the dude's name? Bednar, posts videos.
You said it wrong. It's Susan's husband.
Forgive me. Of Susan. David of Susan.
Yes.
Allows for his videos to be stitched, and so snitches get stitches. Anyway, so I was going. He read a passage actually from Doctrine and Covenants. I think it's 42, and talking about how we ought to pray. And he says that's what it says here in this revelation Joseph received in 1831. And I almost the other day posted a reply saying, actually, no, that's the redaction in 1835, because in 1831 that revelation strictly forbade polygamy and strictly enforced that every member of the church was to take every property that they own, not a property, but every property they own, and give it to the church so that they could use it to raise money to take care of the needy and the poor. And then in 1835, when they were actively building a bank that failed, they decided that, both of those need to come out. Well, at least that part needed to come out. And then all of a sudden, Sidney Rigdon is told, let's take that part about no polygamy out too. It's a little on the nose. Just
it is. Yeah, we might want to revisit and publish a different contradictory revelation at another time.
Right. Just in case.
I don't know if you
go ahead.
If you want to talk about the fact that faithful Mormons who go to the temple still technically practice the law of consecration, because they make a covenant and an oath that they will dedicate their time, their talents, and everything with which the Lord has blessed them, or with which the Lord may bless them, to the church of Jesus, to the building up of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And so if you really are true to your temple covenants, you're going to deed your house to the church. Kirsten has talked about this many times, about how people who are doing their wills, they will deed their houses and their fortunes to the church rather than passing it on to their children.
Right.
And yeah, I think that sucks.
Yeah. And I do believe that oath, if I remember, also included that you would never tell anyone about
Right.
the oath.
That you would never tell anyone.
Never.
So also, I don't know, Joe, if you've been following along, but Kirsten and I've been narrating the 19th wife, the story of Annalisa Webb Young, who was Brigham Young's, the only woman to ever divorce Brigham Young legally. And she goes into great detail about the origins of the blood atonement, which is really, really super disturbing. And it just reminded me that it's still going on today. Like, blood atonement is still being carried out today. It's just being carried out in a way that destroys people's lives spiritually, financially, all of those other things. So all of those oaths that people used to make in the temple, where they said, I would literally unalive myself rather than reveal the secrets of the temple or whatever. The church still kind of enforces all of that when they know that you have left. And we're seeing it play out right now with Mormon Stories podcast, where the church is trying to sue them into oblivion, which, feel how you want to feel about John Dehlin, but this is a First Amendment issue. Make no mistake. It's not about the logo. It's not about the light rays. It's not about the color. It's about the First Amendment. So the church continues to try to destroy people's lives when they leave the church. That just is a fact of the matter.
Yep, I agree. And, it's interesting you should mention that, because, I was excommunicated by the church back in the days when they still did that, as the first recourse
Right.
for being an atheist like me. That's right. That's right. And, we had a court of love, but I leaned into it. I participated and said, let's do this. It was a healthy process for me. So I was comparing, contrasting that, because we were talking about Shane Baldwin, actually, who I don't think is the one mighty and strong, but apparently I may have an opportunity to interview him on the program. He can convince me. But he was talking about on his program on Zion Media, which I watch pretty regularly, that here's the thing people don't get now that the church is sending you a notice. Especially in his case, it was him and his wife. He's barely married to, I think, for a year. This is his second wife. But he says, if I can't, they send them a notice saying you are not allowed on church property, and on any church property anywhere in the in perpetuity throughout the universe. I don't know if that's exactly English, but it's effectively that. And it says, probably. And he says, how are my kids supposed to go to primary without their parents to take them? And why would I send them to church without their parents? I mean, shouldn't that be time where we spend together as a family? It's like right. It's like instead of excommunicating us, I think it was Shane who said this. Somebody in the Zion Media group had said this, and I hadn't struck me that way before, and said that it was the cruelty of it. Of doing it this way now is that they effectively excommunicate a family for the behavior of an individual. Yes. And I'm like, holy shit, that hadn't even occurred to me. And that is especially cruel. I mean,
Joe, I've said this so many times. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, I'm sorry, I said it wrong again. The Corporation of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is not about families. It's not. It's not about keeping families together. It's about tearing families apart. As long as there is any member of any family who is not adhering to the teachings of the corporation, they're going to be removed from the congregation, from the community, and they're going to be vilified. Because as we all know, ex-Mormons are a vilified people in the church. The leadership does everything that they can to make people afraid of anyone who has left. They demonize us for having the courage to step away from something that no longer serves us. And they demonize the idea of thinking for yourself. They demonize the idea of having independent spirituality where you don't depend upon a church to tell you how to feel spiritually or how to worship, frankly. And, you know, what I always find so freaking disturbing is that the things I was taught in the corporation are the things that helped me leave the corporation. And also, they are still spiritual principles that I follow to this day. For example, doing the right thing even when it's hard or even when it has consequences. And also, it's like, do what is right, let the consequence follow. That's something that I learned in the corporation. Also, you know, the article of faith that says, let men worship how, where, or what they may. Apparently, that does not apply to people who have left the corporation, right? Because it's like, okay, let Buddhists, Muslims, you know, Catholics, let them all worship how, where, or what they may, but not ex-Mormons. They're not allowed. They're going to continue to be vilified. Anyway, I forgot why I went on that rant in the first place, but it's just one of those things that, like, whenever this topic comes up, the law of consecration, the oaths that we make in the temple, you know, the church tearing families apart, literally, because that's their entire goal.
I don't mean to catch you off there, but you were on a good one there, because I was thinking the same thing in terms of the law of consecration. We see, like, in the Church of Korihor, we have a mission that's supporting a great organization down in southern Utah called Cherish Families. And what they are is an organization that supports the families, women and children of the Mormon polygamist men who ran their own United Order, as the law of consecrations organizations are known, who ran a United Order where if you got a job, you weren't allowed to have a checking account. And for a lot of these women, especially, they didn't know how to open a checking account. They'd never had one in their life. They had no credit. They were credit invisible. There were children born in these communities, didn't have social security numbers. I mean, and so it's like, so when these men started getting carted off to prison, the few that did, and then the rest scattered, these families were left abandoned. And this is not unique to the FLDS and to Warren Jeff's crew. This goes back to Brigham Young. If you were kicked out of the church, you didn't just lose your spiritual community. You lost your livelihood. You were abandoned.
Well, if you were allowed to remain alive, and what we're learning from the 19th wife is that as soon as a person expressed disinterest or expressed consternation with the leadership of the church, they were suddenly unalived by Indians.
All right.
And, you know, and then they found out later it wasn't actually Indians. It was actually, you know, Danites or other people who were closely associated with Brigham Young, because Brigham Young was like, oh, they're going to leave the church. You know, she specifically analyzed it, specifically tells the story of this one woman who lost her husband. And for 3 years, I think, after he died, she believed that he had been, you know, attacked by Indians. And then when she found out the real truth, it was like having to go through the whole grieving process all over again, because it was like, no, actually, that's not how he died. It was not just a random attack by natives who thought he was on their land. It was actually your people, your own people, the people that you associate with every Sunday, and all the time. And so Brigham Young was a particularly vindictive and bloodthirsty man, and believed that if you did not want to, you know, toe the line, you didn't deserve to be here anymore.
Yeah. He would use the phrase "used up." It was high
Yep.
time he was used up, and I learned
Well,
that. I actually had I've been researching and adjusting my screenplay. Finally picked up a screenplay I'd written a couple years ago called Kingdom Business, where I tell the story of Wild Bill Hickman, who was he is a notorious gunman for
Yep.
Joseph Smith and Brigham Young.
Yes, guns for the Lord.
That's right. He was, who actually betrayed Brigham Young in the end. And he talks about in his book, called Brigham's Destroying Angel. And
oh my gosh, yes.
With his excommunication, basically, he just pissed off Brigham Young one day.
Mm-hmm.
Up until that point, Brigham Young, he was one of Brigham Young's favorite gunmen.
Assassins.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, and it's between him and Porter Rockwell, John D. Lee, and and a handful of others, Joseph Nobles and others, is that they would, until he would get wives given to him. He had 10 wives at his height of power. And he had lands. If you got a wife, generally you'd get, as I understand, you'd get an allotment of land. You have to provide for her. You have to provide for the kids. And he would complain to Brigham Young, saying, then you send me off on these wild goose chases on stupid businesses that never make any money, and my children have to eat out of the storehouse. And Brigham Young would remind him, but they can eat out of the church, out of the storehouse. Don't you forget that. Be grateful. Meaning that his kids, they ate off of the communist system, which
I could cut you off from the storehouse if I wanted to.
That's right.
And they would have nothing.
And all it took was Brigham Young deciding, and when Bill Hickman had embarrassed him too much, and he was and had confronted him when he told him, "I want you to go and kill this general in the U.S. Army," and Bill Hickman's like, "So that general and I are friends, and I'm not going to kill him. He's a good man." And I'm sick of this. Then he's like, "Oh, well, maybe you need to be excommunicated." And then what happens when the father of a family gets excommunicated, whether it's in Warren Jeff's group or Brigham Young's group? All those wives are now divorced from him. All those children are disassociated from him. They can't have anything to do with him. And he basically destroyed this man's life. He was a bad dude, but he was a bad dude whose mistake was crossing Brigham Young and telling him no.
Exactly. That's the whole thing. Like, it wasn't even that he did anything that was really that terrible. It's just that Brigham Young didn't like him. And what was the reason Brigham Young wanted this general dead? Oh, it was some trivial bullshit. Like, it was not anything that was, egregious by any means. It was just Brigham Young didn't like him. It just, all of these, all of this retribution that was carried out, all of this blood atonement that was carried out was over petty differences. And Brigham Young was like the most insecure. I always like to refer to him as a short, bald bigot who basically was so insecure that he couldn't stand even like the tiniest little insult. And anytime somebody crossed him in any way, he was like, "Dead. That's a straight to death. Straight to death. Just go to the other world. I don't need you here. I don't want you here."
That's right. So that's the Mormon communism that he's talking about here. There's not anything like communism, as you're going to learn here. It's the exact opposite of communism, of course, even though it may have sounded somewhat familiar.
Where it may be found on any of the church records of the church. Their names shall not be found, neither names of their fathers, nor their names of their children, written in the book of the law of God, saith the Lord of hosts. Yea, thus saith the still small voice which whispereth through and pierceth all things, and oftentimes maketh my bones to quake, while it maketh manifest, saying, And it shall come to pass, I, the Lord, will send one mighty and strong, holding the scepter of power in his hand, clothed with light for a covering, whose mouth shall utter his words, eternal words, while his bowels shall be full of fountain of truth.
His bowels shall be full of what? I'm sorry, his bowels.
I think you said truth, mirth.
Symmetry. His bowels shall be full of symmetry. Mirth.
Has to do with
I think it's the number 11.
properties in Zion. All of these things. Now, the one mighty and strong is Donald Trump. He's the one. He's a real estate.
Now, that's not problematic at all there, Megan. Why you make a face like that? Well, he's mighty and strong, and he will make sure that people give all their property to the church, and that the church will mete back out to them according to their need, from each according to his ability, and to each according to his need. What's wrong with that?
So Joe, you assume that the church would actually mete out to those according to their need.
Naturally. What else?
This is why I say it would be terrifying to actually live the law of consecration under the reign of Dallin H. Oaks. And he did refer, I remember earlier, he referred to the reign of Russell M. Nelson. The reign, okay, like this is comical to me. It's comical to me what little boys these prophets, seers, and revelators are. Where Russell M. Nelson got his feelings hurt because he said that the word Mormon was a victory for Satan. And Gordon Hinckley was like, Russell, relax. It's not that big of a deal. We like the word Mormon. I'm a Mormon boy. You're a Mormon boy.
And Russell Mormon was pioneers.
And Russell was so butthurt that he had to come out and change an entire marketing campaign that they spent millions of dollars on because he was upset about being called out in general conference for like, it's not that big a deal, right? The name of the church.
Right.
Now we have Dallin Oaks who has taken over, and he's butthurt about the fact that Russell M. Nelson announced so many new temples that he's like, we're stopping the building of temples. We're not going to announce any more temples. Like, these little boys are so underdeveloped and they are so insecure that all they can do is kick against the pricks of their predecessors. That's literally all they can do. It is so fucking stupid that these men who have control over hundreds of billions of dollars, the only thing that they can do is enact policies that basically discount the work of their predecessors. And we could play a game right now where we could say, Megan, are you talking about the leadership of the Corporation of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints? Or are you talking about the presidency of the United States? Because it's the same thing. Donald Trump comes in. He wants to undo everything Joe Biden did. Joe Biden came in. He wants to undo everything the dude before him did. Or he wants to see, he's like, the dude before me was actually kind of a good guy. So I'm going to keep a bunch of his shit. I'm going to do some new shit. Donald Trump comes in. He's like, everything the guy last before me, shit. It was up. The economy, that was his fault. Everything is terrible. Gas prices are high because of sleepy Joe Biden.
Sleepy Joe Biden.
And because of Rosie O'Donnell. I don't know why, but it's because. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? You have control over the armies and navies,
and with
principalities and powers,
and with silver and gold, buy up navies and reign with blood and terror.
Reign with blood and horror on this earth. And you can do all of that shit. And what you want to do instead is get rid of Obamacare. Like, that's your big priority. Like, shut up. What is wrong with you?
Which really wasn't even about healthcare. It wasn't even about money. It was just about showing up the other guy. You're absolutely right.
Exactly. It's so fucking stupid. When you dial it down to the lowest common denominator, all the Dallin hoax is doing, Dallas hoax, shall we say, all he's doing is trying to undo what was done before him and make himself a better man than the last guy. It's the same with Donald Trump. It's the same with every person who occupies the highest office in any corporation, in any country, or whatever. They want to have more longevity. They want to have more Like they want to have more legacy. They want to do something that's more important than the last guy did. Like, shut up. This is the
This is
the
a
thing.
passionate thing for you, Megan.
Yes,
picking
it
up
is.
a
Like
little
it's a
bit
thing
here.
that it's a thing that really pisses me off, because here's what the American government was actually built to do. The American government was actually built to have someone in power who cares more about the American people than about his own interest or her own interest. And the reason I think that we have never had a woman president before, first of all, patriarchy. Let's just leave it at that, right? But the idea that someone would occupy that office and actually be selfless about their candidacy, actually be selfless about their governance, actually care about the American people on a real level. That's a concept that's completely foreign to us as Americans. And I'm sorry that we're being so America-centric, but this is like, it's an American religion. Mormonism is an American religion.
And it's our government they're talking about overthrowing right now.
It is our government they're talking about overthrowing. And also there's been a lot of talk about having an American Civil War, which a lot of Mormons are pro-American Civil War. They want to have a war. Like, what? Have you even like considered all of the ramifications and the ripple effect that would happen if we had an American Civil War? Like, all of you preppers who are out there, not listening to this probably, so I'm preaching to the wrong crowd, but all the preppers who are out there saying that we're going to hoard up all of these food supplies and we're going to make our own ammunition, and you know, Chad Daybell saying like, where should we position the guns when the zombies start infiltrating, right? There are people out there who literally believe that civil war is the only path forward right now. It's insanity. Just if people would just stop to think for 1 second or maybe 5 seconds about the legacy of what do you want to leave behind? What do you want the lives of your grandchildren and great grandchildren to be like? I am one of those, as you know, Joe, we've talked about this before. I'm one of those who's a proponent of saying like, we are all very much more similar than we are different. We all want the same things. We all want peace and prosperity for ourselves and our children. We all want for life to continue. Well, except a few. And I do have to say, like, there are the billionaires out there who don't give a fuck about normal people. They just want to have as much money and power and capitalism as they possibly can. So there are those people out there, obviously. But for the most part, like, if you reach into the life and the home of somebody who lives on the other side of the world from you, you'll realize that, like, in their very most vulnerable of moments, and I love this I love to talk about the time and space between awake and asleep. When you're lying down in your bed at night and you've put your phone away finally, and all you have is your thoughts and your feelings, and you just have to be really real with yourself. What is it that you think about? What is it that you care about? For me personally, I think about my children. I think about my grandchildren. I think about what their lives are like. I hope that they are peaceful. I hope that they're lying down in bed at night, not concerned about where their next meal is coming from, not concerned about whether or not they're going to have a roof over their heads. And I always hope that the people that I love and care about can lie down at night with a modicum of peace for the next day. And I feel as though the majority of the population does the same thing. No matter what religious tradition you come from, no matter what country you're from, I think that most people lay down at night with the same thoughts in their heads. They want peace and prosperity for themselves and their children. There are, I think, the 1%, right? The billionaires who lie down thinking, who can I today or tomorrow? Like, who can I take advantage of so that I get more? like those toxic people who don't have a second thought about all of that stuff. But I think that for the majority of us living on this planet, we all want the same things. And so given that as an idea, in what world does a one mighty and strong make sense? In what world does religious domination or political domination or financial domination make sense? It doesn't. If what you really love and care about is the future of yourselves and your prosperity or your posterity, then all of these ideas about power and control should literally just disappear. We shouldn't have any of these thoughts or feelings. I know sorry, that was a very long rant.
It's a good one.
To say that, anybody who is entertaining these ideas about there even existing a one mighty and strong, a one person, like, why are we still giving up our agency or our ideals to some other person? Why do we still need there to be a leader of some religious faction? Why do we still need there to be a prophet? Why do we still need there to be a Jesus Christ who tells us what is moral and what is right? I absolutely love this comment by, I think it was Ricky Gervais, who said, somebody asked him, like, without the Bible, without Jesus Christ, how do you even have a sense of morality? And he says, well, I don't. Like, I commit as much rape and murder as I want to, which is none.
Right.
Because I'm a decent human being. I don't need a book to tell me how to be a decent human being. I don't need a Jesus to tell me to treat people with kindness and respect, because that is just what you should do as a human being, devoid of any religious instruction. Sorry.
No, that's a good one. I mean, and it really is what we're talking about here, because, it's like, this is exactly the point. Okay, so the United Order, the church tried it and it failed. Marxism has been tried many times throughout history, but it gets abandoned. The actual Marxian policy and ideas. What people don't realize about Marx is that he advocated for exactly what this guy Kelly Smith is advocating for, and doesn't realize it, because to him Marxism is a word, not a dude with a movement and a book and everything. Right. But Marx believed in a decentralized, local community only supported agrarian society of communists, of people who lived in intentional communities. He believed that only a stateless society could actually pull off communism. The Soviets tried to change that, and they did find that they met both with success and also raucous, horrendous failure. And and so people we're raised to believe in a generation that believed that Marxist-Leninist way of life was the Soviet system that crashed in the 90s. And it's like, and we were raised to believe something that Mormons previous to us never were before the Soviet Union, which was basically everything that Marx wrote about was the real society, that America would have to be overthrown. All the states would have to be overthrown, and that these stakes of Zion would take control and serve their local communities, and everybody would give according to his ability and would receive according to his need, and there were no poor among them. This is not new, but what's interesting to me is he sells it as Donald Trump is going to do this, which I'm going to just be the pessimist who says he's not actually. Donald Trump has no interest in this whatsoever. But right now he's saying it because I think he feels what a lot of people feel. And for me, it was watching Charlie Kirk, because, I do coverage of the whole Tyler Robinson controversy. And I wanted to know, I did a live stream recently where I played the conference, some of the controversial things that Charlie Kirk and some of the other TPUSA speakers, including Megyn Kelly and freaking Lauren, what's her name, and Tucker Carlson all got up there and talked about in the meeting that the day afterwards, we're now learning because of Maggie Haberman and Jonathan What's His Bucket's new book, that the day after that, he got a call from Donald Trump saying, what the hell was that? It was all an Epstein grievance fest. That is never to happen again, because they got up and complained that Pam Bondi had promised to expose Jeffrey Epstein, and she didn't do it. And she missed the mark, and they felt like they were being fed bullshit and lies and redactions about Epstein Island. And then he would turn around and say, and he said, and the thing that's not being addressed by this government, no matter how hard I try, Charlie Kirk himself said, is that we have all these students that I'm trying to talk to every day whose main complaint to me is that there's no such thing as affordable housing for young people, that there's no way that young families can own a home. And I remember looking at that and thinking, I never paid attention to this guy because I don't like him. I don't like his organization. I don't agree with his politics. And here I am compelled to watch him and saying, this guy's been saying what I've been saying since the Obama administration. And you're right. It affects all of us. And we agree. Maybe we don't agree on more than we disagree, but the things that we do agree on are big. And so when anybody comes out and says, you know what, in this country, we need to have a solution where everybody can own a home and the government's responsible to make sure that it happens no matter what it takes. It doesn't, it doesn't surprise me that they, both sides point to each other and say, well, that's communism, right? That's where I am on that. Do you still hear me? I think one of us is getting choppy. I might be losing my internet here. Hold on. Oh, my internet's strong. I think we might be losing you, Megan. I don't hear you anymore. Oh, no. You guys hear Megan over there in the comments? Right? No. I see you moving every few frames, every few seconds. Oh, you are muted. I can't unmute you. You have to unmute yourself. You are muted right now. Just an FYI. Yeah, we don't hear you. Do you guys hear me? I don't know either. I tried to unmute you from here, but it won't do it. Maybe you have to go out and come back in, or maybe you have to turn your microphone off and on. Let's listen to Kelly while Megan sorts out her microphone. This is the end of it.
He's going to set up Zion. Help set up Zion. He knows he knows what it takes to set up a whole city, the sewage and the water systems and the streets and power and all that kind of stuff. He's very familiar with all that. He didn't pick somebody out of the blue. God, he trained him in this ahead of time. And now the kingdom is established in Missouri,
as a real estate mogul.
And it will be started there and grow, and the firstborn, all that stuff, translation, everything. And so all these things are going to happen from there, and that's where it rolls forth.
So everybody's clear about this. When he says the firstborn and stuff, he's talking about the Church of the Firstborn, which is that's a Mormon prophecy. I think it actually has some roots in the Bible somewhere, but that there is a Church of the Firstborn. That's the way Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell referred to their group, and he doesn't want to bring that up. This, again, like Shane Baldwin, nobody wants to say Chad Daybell, but what he's basically saying here is that Donald Trump is the new Chad Daybell.
And destroys, because all the kingdoms must be brought under rule given to Christ. Everybody looks at Donald Trump saying, look, he's trying to take over the whole world. Yeah. So I love it. You know, Isaiah says one of the signs of the servant, he will speak sharp words. Sharp words. He calls it out. He's speaking the truth. Oh, he does. Crooked Hillary, fake news, you know, lying Joe Biden, whatever, all the things he uses. And so what's interesting to me in Revelation 12 is that there's a group of people that reject the servant who speaks sharp words and follow the Antichrist who speaks smooth words. Flattery. Oh, let's get together and solve these problems together. No, it's a sign. It's a sign of the true servant is the sharp words.
Okay, but I mean, he was just talking about the smooth words just a moment ago, Kelly. You were just saying a moment ago that we all ought to band together, we all ought to work together, but just as Zion and not Utopia. And then really, I'm afraid, sir, failed to distinguish what is the difference between Zion and Utopia. We may have lost Megan.
We are a church of niceness, and you know, where's the backbone? And our elections have shown what's going on. Yeah.
Not physical, it's his image, his visage, his reputation is marred. No one in history has been marred, their image marred, than Donald Trump.
Really? Really? We might get Megan back. We might not. If we don't get Megan back, Megan, I hope you have a great night. Thank you so much for being on. I told both Megan and Kirsten, who we organized this very last minute. I told them when they were both like, oh, I have this, I have that, and I have this. And I'm like, show up when you can show up. We love your faces. We love to see them. And we love to hear your snarky comments. They make excellent horse. But yeah. Yeah. I mean, you notice this sensationalist, hyperbolic language. It's so characteristic of strongman politics, you know, and that's not me making a political comment. That's a historical comment. No one who was ever more marred than Joseph Smith, whose image has been more slandered than Shane Baldwin's, whose likeness has been more distraught and more distorted than that of our own Admiral Hubbard. You know, it's always, our leader has always been the most persecuted. We have always been the ones that everyone despises and poor us. And, you know, and so obviously that's why we've been selected. Yeah. Welcome back, Megan. Do I have you back? You still look frozen to me. And your mic's still unmuted. I mean, look, I agree with people like the Mormon prophets to say that that when we talk about politics, we do talk about morality. And so I try not to advocate for politics. When people ask me about this, because like I had somebody ask me about this. As a matter of fact, I think it was in my conversation I had with Jacob Hansen. And he said, where do you draw the line? And I said, I don't tell people candidates to vote for. I don't endorse a candidate. And I don't endorse policies and tell people how to vote. And he said, that's it. That's the line. I said, it's somewhere around there. But yes, that's the hard line. And I said, but I now suddenly do agree, since founding the Church of Korihor, to understand that part of a responsibility of being a spiritual leader is to speak to the morality of that behind law, if morals are to be regulated. And so, you know, and so that's what we're talking about here with what he's saying here. You know, as far as, but when it becomes about the dear leader, I panic. I start to look around and say, why am I the only one really who's seeing this?
No one is trying to prepare for all these people that are going to reject Trump when he finally becomes part of the church. They're going to reject him. They're going to, I want nothing to do with that man, is what people are going to say. They don't want anything to do with him. They don't want anything be a part of the church that he's a part of. And they won't be able to endure the persecution. They will, you know, it's a repeat of the war in heaven when Satan.
Now, those of you, you're going to hear something here. This is the end of all of this. This is me. I have condensed down only some of the major points of several hours, well, a few hours of this man speaking. And when you see this, Kelly Smith, if you do see it, I want to thank you for allowing me to, your courtesy. I hope that you don't feel I maligned your character in any way, sir. I hope that if you do see this, you will reach out to me. As a matter of fact, I will shoot out an email, as I did for Shane Baldwin. I'm getting better about this, to say I'm covering you, perhaps not in a flattering light. I am going to give you an opportunity to come back on the program and respond. For FYI, I don't have a lot of information to report on this. I did receive a message back, by the way, from Shane Baldwin's team at Zion Media, saying that Shane Baldwin wants to talk to me. And they've always been nice to me. I think those of you who have heard me talk about Zion Media, which I have only superficially for the most part, but I think you all have heard me say multiple times, everyone at Zion Media has been super kind to me. And partially because apparently they don't have blackmail on me, but we'll talk about that another time. But the man on the bottom of the screen, that's a good question. Oh, orthodoxy is cool. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Dragged, a third of the host of heaven. That's why it's in Revelation 12 that the dragon's tail, that he will drag people out of the church because of Trump's relation. That is about the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And when he gets involved, there's a group of people, members of the church, that are cast out, just like the premortal life, because they will not accept Trump.
Now, if you don't know, so this harkens back to the Mormon Bible. Yes, there is a Mormon Bible. People who say that there is no Mormon Bible are lying. There's a Joseph Smith translation of the Bible. And Joseph Smith went in and changed the Bible. There are some people who call it a commentary on the Bible. It is not. That is a lie. And there is a book known as the Book of Abraham. There are plenty, there's plenty of controversy around the Book of Abraham. But in fact, the Mormon theology says, and including in the Book of Mormon, that there was, and Doctrine and Covenants, all the standard works, weaves in this story that before we were born, we all existed. And we are eternal and co-eternal with God. Now that's a doctrine that's more or less changed over the course of Mormonism into its journey into modernity. But it is the current narrative, is that we have all always existed and we are all co-eternal with God. In our forms that we have now, we are the product of our parents and also our heavenly parents. And yes, you have a heavenly mother. It may or may not be the same heavenly mother as my heavenly mother, but your heavenly father is the same heavenly father as my heavenly father, etc. Blah, 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 blah. And but in any event, that if you are here in a physical body, it means that you kept your first estate, which means that you chose to follow Christ before you were born, and be as a reward for following the war in heaven, for being obedient in the war in heaven, which is described in the book of Revelation. So that's hence why we're having this conversation. And he talks about, in Revelation says that a third of the stars of heaven fell. Mormons, like many people, believe that those souls, the third of the stars were the third of the souls, the spirits, children of God, who fell because they followed Lucifer. And Lucifer's plan, they will say, and again, why we're having this conversation, according to Joseph Smith and Joseph Smith's version of the scriptures, is that Satan wanted everybody to return to God. And in that way, he was usurping the place of God. And that God's plan needed to be abided by was Jesus's plan, which is the competing plan. We have Megan, and it looks like her microphone's on. Megan, are you with us? I see your microphone on, but I don't hear you. And
No.
I hear you. I hear you now. Do you hear us? I don't think you hear us. If you're saying that you hear us, I don't hear you saying it. I heard you for like 1 second. But the but it's key pivotal here that what he's saying is that Joseph, that if you reject Donald Trump, I get so used to talking about Joseph Smith, that if you reject Donald Trump, you don't keep your second estate. You
So
fall. Oh, I heard you for a second there, Megan. We had you and we
guys are
lost.
saying.
I hear you now a
So
little bit.
if you can hear me, I'm
Yes.
sorry that
And now I lost you again. I think either your internet went down or maybe your device is overloaded. Maybe if you're on your phone, which I don't know if you use your phone. Nope, still don't hear you. And we used up all of the good luck we had with Megan's machine. You look great though. The freeze frames we're getting out of you. You look great. There you go. Hey, now we're seeing you. Maybe we have to choose between seeing you and hearing you. Yeah, tell me your mic's muted again. Yeah. Was frozen again.
I'm sorry. I don't know what the percentage is. My goal is to reduce that percentage. And that's all I'm trying to do.
That's awesome.
So I say that in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
So, out of fairness, the book that this man wrote, I went ahead and put, and Kevin Smith, when you see this, which you won't, but maybe you will, who knows. I put the link to his book inside to his website in the description of this video. Fair is fair. If it makes sense to you, even out of curiosity's sake, to buy this gentleman's book, I would encourage you to do it and let us know how it is. Yeah, Megan, hi.
Can you hear me?
I hear you.
Oh, yay. So I turned off my camera hoping that, like, I don't know, something would kick in somewhere. So I don't know what the problem is with my technology. I'm sure it's my fault on my end. I think I need to reboot my whole system. But I just want to say thanks for having me. And I appreciate the opportunity to talk about this stuff because obviously I'm passionate about it, but I avoid politics on my own channel, on my main channel, and especially on my channel with Kirsten. Ex-Mormon Snark is a politics and true crime free zone. And so therefore, I appreciate the opportunity of coming on here and being able to talk about some of this because I do feel really strongly about it. And it always bothers me so much when these little fringe cults form themselves on the offshoots of Mormonism and use the coattails of Mormonism to garner trust from members. And, you know, they use their affiliation with the corporation to sort of like perpetuate these new little fringe groups that they think are so sexy and cool. And I think it's awful. So I'm really grateful that you're shedding a light on it. Thank you for doing that. And also, I just think that, you know, I really do believe in the idea that shedding light on darkness exposes, you know, it disinfects. It's like a disinfectant, right? And we can't get rid of these horrible groups without exposing them. And so I think that is the best possible way to get rid of these little fringe groups is to expose them. And this is what I've always 100% been afraid of ever since Chad and Lori came on the scene with their own version of Mormonism, is that there are hundreds and hundreds of other groups just like them who want to do Mormonism their own way. They want to fashion themselves as some kind of new Joseph Smith, receiving their own revelation in their own brand and being able to treat people however they want to. And, you know, granted, not everybody who forms an offshoot of the Mormon Corporation is going to end up killing people. But I think it's not too far of a step. And that's really what we saw with the Daybell case, is that it's just not that far off from what Mormons already believe. And all you got to do is take 1 or 2 steps in the wrong direction, and then suddenly kids are dead. And so this is what I'm so grateful that you're exposing all of this and calling it out, because that's always been my fear.
I appreciate that. Megan did, has done true crime, Mormon true crime, more or less out of, it seems to me, I may be revealing a lot from our private conversations here, put into that situation, as I feel I kind of was done, by circumstances, right? I mean, we're passionate about true crime, but your proximity to One Mighty and Strong kind of made it to where you had to, for a long time. I felt worried actually about you when you're covering the Vallow trial and so forth. And I was like, this is not just a lot on Megan in terms of her time and her energy and her effort, and having to compete with other channels that are covering the same topics and some, but this is all emotionally invested for her because this is her family, and this is our community we came out of. And so I'm grateful that you were willing to come in and even talk about this. I mean, I did feel that it needed your voice, but I'm grateful that you were willing to do this, because it's I don't think anybody knows this material better than you do, at least as far as like the One Mighty and Strong and the danger of it.
Well, when as you know, Joe, like when you were born in Mormonism, and that's the stew that you simmered in for your entire life, you know it inside and out. And so it's very different to have someone outside the church commenting on these little fringe groups that come out, because they don't really understand the stew that we were simmered in, understanding the indoctrination and understanding how brainwashed we were into the system is so vital to understanding why we continue to produce people who have these crazy fringe belief cult ideas. And I agree with this 100%. Like, even if the kids aren't killed, they're living with lifelong trauma because of people like Jody, because of people who were cooked in the Mormon casserole, right? Who then take on this idea that they think that they basically Joseph Smith their own lives. They believe that they are the ones who should be receiving revelation for how everyone else in their lives should behave, should think, should feel, should live their lives. And it's abusive. It's abusive at best. And at worst, it ends up in the cases of children being killed and harmed. It is like the LDS Church is a place that protects pedophiles. It's a place that protects abusers, because it was founded by a pedophile. It was founded by abusers. It was perpetuated by those people. It exists to keep the people in power. And so it should not ever surprise us when we see individuals like this one coming forward and proclaiming themselves to be the next person to, completely revolutionize everything. It just is, it's reminiscent of all this horrible stuff. And to be honest with you, the farther distance that I have from the Daybell trials, the more grateful I am that I don't have to talk about it that much anymore. But I still think that's really important to talk about, because it is an important part of American history. It is an important part of religious zealotry that I think if we forget, we, again, are doomed to repeat. If we don't continue to expose and call out these little radical groups and cells, they're going to continue to populate. And I just think, like, ordinary people need to be aware that there are dragons in our midst. There are people who would use you and your time and your resources to further their own cause. And the more we can call that out, and the more that we can help people to find healthy community, the less successful these little fringe groups are. And honestly, when I look at all of these little groups, the thing that I see in common more than anything else is that people want to be made to feel important and they want a sense of belonging. And unfortunately, they will accept anything that comes along in that form or fashion, whether it be a toxic religious cult or a toxic political affiliation or a toxic mom's book club. You know, whatever gets dropped in their lap is what they're going to accept because that's what they crave. And what I want people to understand is that you can find healthy community and you can find healthy validation within yourself, and you don't have to be looking for external validation from all of these crazy groups. So anyway, I don't know. I feel sometimes like I'm speaking into the void. And especially now, right now I do, since there's no video, there's only audio. But thank you, Joe, for allowing me to come on and do my rants. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Yeah, we'll take a rant from Megan anytime. We got to get a godless sermon out of Megan one of these days. That'd be great.
Oh, yes. I would love that.
So I'll tell you what I'm going to do, you guys. I got a little juice still in the tank. So what I'm going to do is we'll end this live, and then I think I'm going to launch a linger longer and welcome everybody who wants to come on and just talk to you guys about some of the things that are coming up in the show. But and Megan, you're welcome back, even though it's late, and I wouldn't blame you if you went to bed because I know you're not a night owl. But thank you very much, Megan. Everybody, Megan and Kirsten, make sure that you click on if you haven't already, click on the link there in the description to their channel. And they are ex-Mormon Snark. We are Hellfire Agency, a mission of the Church of Korihor. And
if you're not coming to family night on Monday night, what even are you doing with your Monday night?
Ramen. I try never to miss it. Unfortunately, sometimes I have to, but I love family night with Kirsten and Megan. They're the best. They're the best Korihors around. Thank you very much, Megan, and thank you, everybody.
Yes, thank you.
Wander back here if you're night owls like me, so we can talk about some other things. But have a great night, everyone.